Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. So let's get at it. I want to talk about a case that you might have heard of earlier this March of this year and want to bring it into light and just show some of the ridiculousness that passes off as journalism, I guess. But before we jump into it too far, I want to say thank you so much for stopping by this morning. I see my good friend, Transplanted Texan, and Shaggy's in the building. Good morning, DWC in the chat. Hope everyone had a great day. Has a great day. Please forgive me. Good to see you. We watch YouTube. Always a fantastic supporter of the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Corey's in the building as well. Good to see you there, good friend. Now, I'm sure you all heard here in Georgia and other states as well. Recently, our governors have been signing bills, or there have been a push to hold prosecutors and more specifically district attorneys responsible to actually prosecute crimes. And if the crime is in the book as 1, 2, 3, then the prosecutor or the DA doesn't have an option of like saying, I don't want to charge him for that. I want to give him something different. If the crime is listed, then they have to kind of follow it. And since time immemorial, I didn't realize this, there's not been a way to hold DAs accountable for this. Now, if you do any deep dive into it and just look over to the left coast, California is fraught with district attorneys who don't punish crimes, from shoplifting to carjacking to burglary, and of course, drug crimes. There's several instances in Philadelphia, in California, as well as Philadelphia, now think about it, that where the DA is not actually prosecuting crimes. Well, that's going to cause a problem in the long term. And so many governors have said, hey, we can't let this happen. We can't let this happen, and we got to put in place some way of holding our district attorneys accountable. Now, when this bill came out, it came out in about March or so, 2024. And of course, everybody immediately jumped on the Governor Kemp, who's a Republican, who's a white male, is going after Fani Willis, who's a black woman in Fulton County. Everybody jumped on that narrative, and they kind of missed the little fine detail that this bill had been in works for about 3 years. Well before, it was actually in works while Paul Howard was a DA of Fulton County. So it wasn't against Paul Howard. It's just the fact that they wanted to make sure that DAs are actually prosecuting crimes and not just letting crimes go. And we'll talk about exactly and specifically what was the case in general that was the impetus for this. But before we get too far afield, let's just refresh our memories. Oh wait, you know what? This is a As a Peach Rots theme. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what we're about to do.
Welcome back to Season 4 of As the Peach Rots. In this suspenseful 4th season, we marinate the feeder of Georgia's political elite in the tangy vinegar of accountability. In a state where the odor of mendacity toxifies the air, our perspicacious team of chatroom investigators is on a mission to peel back the layers of deceit and uncover the truth. From backroom deals to embezzlement scandals, no stone is left unturned in our pursuit of justice. But as tensions rise and alliances shift, who can be trusted in the Peach State? Join us for a season ripe with virality, where even the fruit isn't safe from corruption, because sometimes the juiciest scandals are right under your nose.
That thing will never, ever not be funny to me. By the way, if you're interested in that type of content like that, please go check out We Watch YouTube. We Watch YouTube produces fantastic videos and such of that nature, but they also created this for me. So if you needed that and you're a content creator, I'm not saying that We Watch YouTube will do it. I might, maybe I'll pull some strings to help you out. But reach out to We Watch YouTube. They do a great job at that. And I, again, want to say thank you so much for your support of the channel. We Watch, you know what, real quick, let's just spam We Watch YouTube in the chat real quick to warm our fingers up. WWYT in the chat. Let's go. So what I want us to do while y'all are doing that, giving We Watch YouTube a shout out, and what I want to do is I want to go over exactly what is the case that we're referring to, because a lot of people, you hear snippets and such of that nature, and we're going to read 2 newspaper articles that completely miss explain this case. And I have to give shout out to the local news. They did a great job at this. So I'm going to bring them in and we're going to talk about it. Let's go.
Meanwhile, tonight there is now an oversight panel with the power to discipline and even remove state prosecutors.
Governor Brian Kemp signed that bill into law today, saying that the panel will hold prosecuting attorneys accountable for their actions. 11 Alive's Bobeth Yates is live tonight from the state capitol to explain the changes this will bring. Bobeth?
Well, Ron, officials say this move today will give residents and lawmakers more options to ensure that Solicitor Generals and DAs are doing their job. And with the stroke of a pen, it was official. Governor Brian Kemp says the state will hold district attorneys accountable.
Today, we are renewing our commitment that we won't forfeit public safety for prosecutors who let criminals off the hook.
The new law revives the Prosecuting Attorney Qualification Commission, tasked with overseeing complaints filed against district attorneys and solicitor generals. The commission can investigate alleged misconduct, discipline, remove, or even force retirement.
Okay, when I was watching this, I kind of got a little chuckle. If you are if you've been following the YSL case, you know why this is kind of funny. I didn't realize it when I first saw it back in March, but does anybody see why this is, anybody see anybody in this picture here? That's right. There's Judge Paige Whitaker is the judge right here that this guy is speaking in front of. I just thought that was funny when I watched it again.
On the situation.
When out-of-touch prosecutors put politics over public safety, the community suffers and people and property are put at risk.
Previous versions of the law restrict the disciplining of a DA until the Supreme Court affirmed the ruling. But in November, the state Supreme Court refused to approve the rule. The version signed today removes that requirement and gives the 8-person panel more power to move forward without the Supreme Court.
A change Athens-Clarke County resident and former state senator candidate Scott Howard says will help his community.
We have serious concerns about the job performance of our district attorney. She has been, very unsuccessful at prosecuting criminals in our area.
When the previous version of the bill was considered, many vowed to file complaints against Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis for her prosecution of former President Donald Trump. It caused many DAs across the state to speak out against the measure.
As you know, there are already legislators who have vowed come October 1st to file commission complaints against district attorneys here in Georgia for just doing their job.
And in one of her previous interviews on the matter, DeKalb County District Attorney Sherry Boston says the law is an assault on democracy.
To drag DAs in front of a commission around decisions that they have been given constitutional right to make, we are embarking on a very dangerous journey.
Now, when the law was signed into law today by the governor, it went into effect immediately, giving the commission the authorization to move forward.
All right, Bobeth, thanks for the update there. New tonight.
Okay, so I wanted to just give you that, and I thought that was a pretty fair, from 11 Alive News, I thought that was a pretty fair, high view of what the case is actually about. And the reason I wanted to point that out is because we're going to look at my good friend, my new friend now, I didn't realize this was my sister from another mister, Paige Whitaker, actually was actually involved in this case with Fani Willis very recently. I didn't know it. So I have to ask her that next time she comes over for family dinner. But what I wanted to do before we get too far afield is down in the description of this video are all the links to the video clips as well as this ruling that we're going to be looking at.
Meanwhile, tonight there is now an oversight panel with
Struggle Stream.
A change Athens-Clarke County resident and former state.
Struggle Stream, Jason. Struggle streaming, brother. Already struggle streaming. There we go. Okay, so this article right here, I dropped it in the description as well for you. But let's just look at it real quick because it is a motion. I just thought this was hilarious and just as big as Atlanta wants to be, it's so small. It's so small. So these are all the district attorneys that have filed a complaint, or rather are trying to cut this commission off at the pass. So they went ahead and filed it, and you'll see why I thought this was comical, and the thumbnail is not clickbait in a moment. In the Superior Court of Fulton County, state of Georgia. And I do want to just stress this again. There are a lot of overlaps that we see here in Atlanta, and you probably see it in your own town or city or state as well. I don't think there's any nefariousness in the fact that, again, Judge Whitaker is involved in this case. I don't think there's any nefariousness. I don't think there's any nepotism or anything of that nature. I just think it's extremely serendipitous and comical that the woman that now is overseeing the YSL case also ruled on Fani Willis on this prosecutor's qualification commission. I just thought that was out of control. But watch, let's go. Here are all the plaintiffs. Let's go. Order denying plaintiff's motion for interlocutory injunction. Now, what they wanted to do is they sued in order for the commission not to be able to hold them accountable. Well, what happens is, and we're going to read about it in a second, what happens is that Judge Whitaker said, no, that's not going to be it. We'll look at each case as a case-by-case situation, not just disqualify the whole commission, because I really believe that the impetus of this was the Ahmaud Arbery case, where initially the prosecutor was not going to find those men that killed Ahmaud Arbery. It wasn't going to prosecute him at all. But the community raised so much fuss and kicked up so much dust about it. Eventually they did the right thing. So that's actually the impetus for this case. Had nothing to do with Fani Willis. Now, Fani Willis falls under it for other various and sundry reasons, but let us continue. Before this court is plaintiff motion to interlocutory injunction. The motion filed on August 24th, 2023. The motion asked this court to enjoin the defendants commissioners of the newly created prosecuting attorney qualification commission from conducting an investigation or disciplinary proceedings during the pendence of this injunction, or rather this litigation. And they give you Mott at 19. I don't even know what that means. Defendants filed an opposition to the motion. Oh, I think they're saying motion. Motion on September 18th, 2023. A hearing was held on the motion on September 22nd, 2023. After consideration of the pleadings, the briefs, and the arguments of the hearing, the plaintiff's motion is denied. So that's just the high explanation of what happened here with this case. I do think it's interesting that this is going on well before Fani Willis became a household name. Well before this is well before, not saying that she had not already filed the election interference, but rather this happened. This was going on well before. So it's very easy to understand. The commission was well before even Fani Willis stepped on the stage at all. Just something to point out. Let's continue. The legislation at issue. The Georgia Constitution provides the existence of the district attorneys, and that same Constitution specifically gives the Georgia legislature the authority both to delineate the duties of the district attorneys and to discipline and remove district attorneys. I think that right there, because I don't believe many of them were actually exercising that right to actually call on the carpet and ask district attorneys, why did you not file charges against this case, or why are you not prosecuting these particular types of crimes? In keeping with the authority of the General Assembly, recently passed the Senate Bill 92, which was then signed into law by Governor Kemp. State Bill 92 amends, and I'm not going to read all that, the duties of the district attorneys within their respective circuits to enumerate a new statutory duty to review every individual case for which probable cause for prosecution exists. Now, real quick, if there's a drug charge, you have to review it. You can't just say, I'm not going to prosecute drug crimes. Or if it's throwing gerbil crime, I'm not going to prosecute throwing gerbil crimes. You have to look at each and every one of them and be able to say that you did. Continue. to make a prosecutorial decision available under the law based on the facts and circumstances of each individual case under oath of duty as provided by the Code 15-18. So it's very quick. You can't just say, well, we're not going to try these particular types of crimes. So petty, lots of districts and lots of cities are starting to say, hey, we're not going to prosecute drug crimes at a certain level, or we're not going to prosecute shoplifting at a certain level. Look what's going on in California. I think New York has done that, as well as some other East Coast cities as well, where they're not even prosecuting people that shoplift. So they'll run into stores, grab whole rings of clothes and run out, and nothing happens to them. But is that what we want? Is that what the community wants? The store owners, insurance companies, the community, do they want crimes to not be prosecuted? If that be the case, then you can just go ahead and make those no longer crimes. But if they are in fact crimes, then they have to be prosecuted. Let us continue. State Bill 92 also added a new code section, and we'll go with that, which established a Prosecuting Attorney Qualification Commission as a body which may investigate and discipline or remove district attorneys or solicitor generals. The authority of the commission shall be limited to incapacity or discipline regarding the conduct of the district attorney or solicitor general as a holder of such office. Continue. Plaintiff's request for injunction. So they're asking that the commission not even be put into play, that they're not going to even be held accountable for this, which is very interesting that you would not want to be held accountable, but I digress. Plaintiffs assert that the legislature has overstepped its authority in violation of Georgia's separation of powers doctrine, and the commission violates both the state and the federal First Amendment and due process rights of plaintiffs, and that the preliminary injunction barring, jump on down here, defendants from conducting any investigatory or disciplinary proceedings is warranted during the pendence of this litigation to prevent immediate and actual harm to plaintiffs. Don't hold us accountable. We don't want you to do that. We're trying to sue to not be held accountable. Let us continue. The court reaches its decision to, this is basis for denial of injunction relief. The court reaches its decision to deny the motion for several immediate alternative reasons. And so let's get into these. And then this is actually super short, so it's not going to be long. And then we got I'm going to look at a couple of articles that brought about this whole video right now today. At this point, plaintiffs have failed to show a cognizable injury for process of standing. So see Black Voters Matter Fund. Rather, their alleged injuries appear to be conjectural and hypothetical, and not based on the present set of facts. That's amazing. So they're saying basically you're throwing it out there saying this could happen, this might happen, but there's nothing that you can show that actually has happened. Continue, Jason. And plaintiffs self-censoring attest to in their affidavits is based on questions that have not yet arisen, but which plaintiffs fear may arise in the future. And we got that case right there. In addition, because plaintiffs' alleged injuries are based on an unspecified future harm, which would be caused, if at all, by the defendant's future discretionary acts, any injury is neither actual nor imminent as standing requires. Basically, the only reason you're going to get in trouble is because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So if you do what you're supposed to be doing, then this is a moot point. Sovereign immunity. In addition, plaintiffs' federal law claims as pled are barred by sovereign immunity. To overcome sovereign immunity, plaintiffs must identify where the state has waived this defense. Plaintiffs attempt to do so in footnote 1 of their motion. Plaintiffs bring this lawsuit and seek this injunction against defendants in their official capacities and on the federal law, claiming pursuant of ex parte, don't talk about some ex parte Young, and their individual capacities on the state law claims. This cannot overcome the state's assertion of sovereign immunity of the federal claims. The federal claims are pled pursuant to 42, and we got that code right there, but not permit claims against state officials acting in their official capacity. And I think basically you're sovereign, sure, but that doesn't mean that you don't have to do your job. So you can claim sovereign immunity, but you have to also show that you are doing what you're asked to do. But let us continue. And plaintiffs' reliance on Ex parte Young does not cure this error, as Ex parte Young, why do they keep saying that? Does not defeat sovereign immunity in all contexts. It is a means of establishing federal jurisdiction in federal court. In these courts, it has been recognized as an exception to 11th Amendment immunity. Got that? And I'm going to just jump down. Man, they got a lot of parentheses here. Ex parte Young was culmination of efforts by the court to harmonize the principles of the 11th Amendment with the effective supremacy of rights and powers secure elsewhere in the Constitution. And I'm going to jump to the bottom here. And standard of injunction relief. Standard for injunction relief. An interlocutory injunction is an extraordinary remedy, in the power to grant it must be prudent and cautionarily used. And we know the city of Waycross. And injunctive relief should be granted only in clear and urgent cases after considering whether there is a substantial threat or irreparable injury, whether the threatened injury outweighs the harm caused by the enjoined party, and whether there is a substantial likelihood of success on the merits, and whether an injunction would work a disservice to the public interest. Plaintiffs have not satisfied this requisite in obtaining an injunction. As the Georgia Supreme Court has instructed, injunctions should only be granted if the injury is pressing and delay dangerous and not ally mere apprehensions of injury. So you can't just say, well, we might possibly get injured. There actually has to be an actual injury ensuing. Got you. Plaintiffs have not articulated an injury linked to the commission's investigation of prosecutors, and the commission has indicated it will not discipline a prosecutor until the Supreme Court of Georgia approves its proposed rules sometime into the future. So again, you don't have to worry about it because nothing has been set in place. The commission is there. They're going to set the rules. The Supreme Court's going to approve the rules. Then you need to worry, but you should be doing your job already. Further, defendants enjoy a presumption that they will follow the law in the exercise of their statutory duties and authority, which I think is the point. And the commission will execute its duties in good faith and consistent with the constitutions of the United States and the state of Georgia. This presumption prevents the court from accepting plaintiffs' concerns as factual at this stage of the litigation. Plaintiffs have not shown an injunction is a vital necessary to preventing the immediate and irreplaceable damage. Keep it moving. While the threatened injury to plaintiffs is at this point speculative, it is also true that the commission is newly formed, but any time a state is enjoined by a court from efficating status enacted by representatives of its people, it suffers to form an irreparable damage and injury. As the burden is motivant, and since duly enacted statutes enjoy a presumption of constitutionality, the balance of the equities weighs against enjoining defendants from acting once only statutory prerequisites to such actions have been satisfied. And long story short, from my quick understanding, because again, my name is Jason and I'm a pre-K law student, my understanding is that we can't do something preemptive that's going to cause more damage than good when we don't know what the possible damage could have been. We have no idea what the possible damage could be. So therefore, doing something preemptive is problematic. Let's finish up, Jason. Plaintiffs have not demonstrated a substantial likelihood of success on the merits. And while the court has weighed all the factors in determining whether to grant injunctive relief, the unlikelihood of success on the merits standing alone warrants a denial of the injunctive relief. It wouldn't have been good to do this if we had joined you all. It wouldn't have benefited anybody, and the success would have been low anyway. So don't do it. Among other things, the court is persuaded that the Georgia Constitution expressly authorizes the General Assembly to impose duties on district attorneys and to create the grounds and processes of discipline or remove district attorneys who fail to meet their legal duties, and that the SB 19 does so within the bounds of the state and federal constitutions. One of the things I find interesting, and we'll look at it in a second, we're going to look at the AP, and I did put those links down in the description as well. We're going to look at the AP and how they translated this, how they translated it when it was initially written, and how they're translating it now that Paige Whitaker put down Fani Willis's and others seeking of stopping the commission. It's just funny how they restate and try to recreate history. But let's continue. Among other things, I've already read that. Finally, the public interest is served by allowing the defendants to perform their duties as SB 92 as duly enacted by the legislature and enjoying a presumption of constitutionality presents the will of the people. And we got it right there. For each of these reasons, independently and collectively, plaintiff's motion is denied. And this was on September 29th, 2023 of last year. And that's my sister from another mister's signature. Now, I bring this up because I think it's interesting. When laws are put in place, and you hear this word a lot, you hear systemic a lot of the time. And I think this is a classic example of trying to make something that is not, trying to make something that is not. This law was not put in place because there are black DAs. You heard Fani Willis say that. I did a video about her saying that the only reason they're doing this is because there's black DAs in Georgia. That's just dumb. But isn't that just curious that you know that the reason this law is in play is because, why? DAs weren't doing their job. Why is it that your immediate presumption, you immediately jump to, you lead with, you're not going to be doing your job? That's the part I don't think makes any sense whatsoever. Now, I will again say, I guess it was just serendipitous that this case, that bill was signed during the height of the disqualification hearing. But everybody knows it was in the mix a long time ago. I want to say I heard it was in the mix back in 2021, well before. It's been in the mix for some time. So it's not just here because of Fani Willis. It's not just here because they're black DAs. So you can't use a systemic argument. What it is in play, however, is it is requiring those persons to do their jobs and holding their feet to the fire to be faithful to their job. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Ask California, how safe are they? Pick Oakland or LA or any other city and ask how safe they are when the prosecutors don't do their jobs. Go to Philadelphia and the lowering of the raising of the drug bar. So now so many people are now using drugs in Philadelphia. It's crazy. Ask them how they feel about that. Is that what the people wanted? Is that what the Constitution and your state constitutions are requiring from you? Why are you not doing your job? Real quick. I think I did this right. I'm trying not to struggle stream, y'all. Got it. All right. All right. So this is the Associated Press. I just think the Associated Press is adorable sometimes. And I'm not try not to dunk on them or whatever like that. But I just think this one is a very interesting. Now, here it is. Georgia enacts law letting panel punish and oust prosecutors. All right. Now, the reason I'm going to look at this one, this is when the bill was initially enacted. Okay. So let us continue. And this is the same guy, I think his name is Jeff Amy, and this was on May 5th, 2023. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I just want to give you some high view of it. Now, the links to these are down in the description if you do want to check them out. Governor Brian Kemp signed a bill into law Friday, creating a new commission empowered to discipline and remove wayward prosecutors, saying it will curb far-left prosecutors who are making our communities less safe. Okay, you don't see anything here about black ADAs or female ADAs or anything of that nature. Kemp made the remarks at the Chatham County Sheriff's Office in Savannah, where he signed the measure to establish the Prosecuting Attorneys Qualification Commission, which will launch July 1st and start accepting complaints October 1st. Now, there's a reason why I want you to pay attention to those dates. July 1st is when the commission launched, so about 20 days ago, and they won't start accepting complaints until October 1st. I'm not going to stand idly by as rogue or incompetent prosecutors refuse to uphold the law. Kemp said, "Today we are sending a message that we will not forfeit public safety for prosecutors to let criminals off the hook." So again, anything here about black women, black ADAs, nothing. Let us continue. The law parallels pushes to remove prosecutors in Florida. The law parallels pushes to remove prosecutors in Florida, Indiana, Missouri, and Pennsylvania. Because again, many other states probably have picked up the same type of language as well and making these kind of pushes. Continue. As well as broader disputes nationwide over how certain criminal offenses should be charged. Again, nothing here about we don't want black ADAs, black women ADAs, nothing of that nature. Just making a point. The efforts continue the anti-crime campaigns that Republicans ran on nationwide last year, accusing Democrats of coddling criminals and improperly refusing to prosecute whole categories of crimes, including marijuana possession. So again, if it's in the book as a crime, you should be prosecuting it. You cannot unilaterally say, you know what, I don't want to prosecute that. You know what, I'm not going to prosecute that. I'm going to let that one slide. You can't do that. You can't do that. Now, if the community decides that particular crime, throwing gerbils is a crime, and they say, you know what, we're going to make that not a crime anymore, and the community goes through the proper process to remove that law, or that crime rather, so it's no longer a crime against the law, there it is. But you can't just unilaterally say, you know what, we're not going to do that. I think that's problematic, but continue. Georgia Democrats strenuously oppose the measure, saying the Republican legislative majority was seeking another way to impose its will on Democratic voters at the local level. Where do you get that from? And again, I dropped the bill down in the description. The bill is against, why is it that you assume that people want and are supporting the continuance of crime in their community, and by doing that, it's a Democrat thing? How do you make this jump? And that's why I said sometimes when people use the term systemic, this is how they end up getting here. They'll use things like this and say, oh, well, this law is in place and it systemically imposes something other on Democrats or on this people group or on this special group or whatever. Where are you getting that from? Let us continue because I don't want to go too far. I strongly oppose this an excessive and unnecessary commission, as district attorneys are already held accountable under existing laws and through a current democratic process of holding elections, said Deborah Gonzalez, Democrat district attorney of Athens-Clarke County and Ocoee counties. Now I'm gonna stop right there and we'll jump to the other one. The problem is if there's a rogue DA that's not doing his or her job, if you just say we're going to wait till elections, that's not enough time to get something resolved if something happened 2, 3, 4 years ago. That doesn't make sense. And she knows that. But the reason I bring that up is I want to look at the article that we're really going to dive into. And that is Georgia judge declines to freeze the law to discipline prosecutors, suggesting she will reject the challenge. And I just thought this was interesting. We read her response to it, but I just want you to hear the tone and the tenor of the Associated Press as they give this story. And again, Jeff Amy, shout out to Jeff Amy. Let us continue. A judge is declining to freeze a new Georgia law, creating a commission to discipline and remove state prosecutors, suggesting that she will ultimately rule against a lawsuit attacking the measure. So again, Judge Whitaker said, hey, if you file a case against the commission, I'm going to strike that down. I'm going to rule against that push against the commission. Let us continue. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Paige Reese Whitaker on Friday denied a request for an injunction by 4 district attorneys who have sued to overturn the commission, arguing that that it is unconstitutionally infringes on their power. So again, let me just ask you this question. If you're doing your job, you are now the DA, I now commissioned you, the DA of your community. If you're doing your job, do you worry about the laws that somebody might put in play? Do you have worry about that? Why? And why would you be worried about that? It doesn't make sense. This is how we get to these arguments about, again, systemic whatevers that don't make sense because people don't think like that. Let us continue. Some Republicans in Georgia want the new commission to discipline or remove Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis for winning indictments of former President Donald Trump and 18 other co-defendants. Willis is not one of the plaintiffs in the suit. However, she opposed the law. Georgia's law is one of the series of attempts nationwide by Republicans to impose controls on prosecutors they don't like. Now, when he wrote the article before, when he wrote this article here before, he didn't say anything of that flavor. They don't like them. They just don't like them. I don't like you. So I'm going to get all of my cohorts to file a bill because I don't like you. This is not high school, Mr. Amy. Come on, man. Let's continue. Republicans have invited against progressive prosecutors after some have brought fewer drug possession cases and sought shorter prison sentences, arguing Democrats are coddling criminals. But that's the law, though. Is again, I now commissioned you to be the DA of your county or your city, whatever. Aren't you supposed to be doing what the law says and not what you're progressively trying to do? Now, if you push to get that law changed, then that's something different. But that's not what we're doing. The commission has not begun operating. And this is the part I think is very interesting. Has not begun operating yet. And its rules must be approved by the Supreme Court. The plaintiffs argue that prosecutors are already changing their behavior because they're worried about getting investigated. What is the behavior? And we read it already. And again, you can go through the bill. Maybe there's something in the bill that I missed. But you're changing your behavior. What is the behavior that you're doing that you now have to change because you, in this word right here, are worried about getting investigated? What are you doing? Are you worried about getting investigated at your job if you're doing your job correctly and your job is not like a criminal enterprise? Like, what are you worried about? But Whitaker, shout out, said there's no proof that anyone has been hurt by the law yet. Usually only people who can prove an injury have standing to bring a lawsuit. Plaintiffs have not shown an injunction is a vital necessity to preventing an immediate or irreparable injury, the judge wrote. More damaging to those who oppose the law is Whitaker's finding that the suit is unlikely to succeed. She agrees that the agreement put forward by the state attorney general Chris Carr's office that the law does not violate the state constitution. The court is persuaded that the Georgia Constitution expressly authorizes the Georgia Assembly to impose duties on district attorneys and create the grounds and processes to discipline or remove district attorneys who fail to meet their legal duties, Whitaker wrote. Plaintiffs said they were not giving up, but still want a full trial and will take their case to the Supreme Court to protect prosecutorial independence. Okay, I'm going to keep going, but to me, it seems like if you know that you're doing your job, and again, we're not saying that this is something that is being nuanced. If your job is that, again, the crime is throwing gerbils, then it's pretty clear if you break that law, then therefore you need to be prosecuted for that. Now, maybe they don't have a good case on you. Maybe they don't have a good reason to believe that you threw the gerbil, whatever. But you can't just say, well, I'm just not going to try that case. And they're being very specific. They're saying drug charges, that's run rampant in many communities. There's some communities that are completely decimated by drug infestation. And if you're not going to prosecute them and you're not going to do the right thing, then, sir, man, what are we talking about here? Continue. While we are disappointed that the motion was denied, this is just the beginning of what we expect to be a long legal battle. DeKalb District Attorney Sherry Boston, a Democrat, and one of the plaintiffs said in the statement, "We look forward to presenting our full arguments against this dangerous and undemocratic law." The plaintiffs say that the law creates a bias in favor of prosecuting people, but Carr, a Republican, argues that it does, that if the district attorneys don't prosecute, they are violating their oaths of office, which I do believe is correct. And now they have a process to file a complaint against that. That's all it is. All Georgians deserve to be safe. And it's a district attorney's duty to enforce the law. Carr said in a statement, when elected prosecutors fail to do so, crime goes up and victims are denied justice. I would love for somebody to explain how that sentence is not, those two sentences are not true. The law raises key questions about prosecutorial discretion, a bedrock of the American judicial system that allows prosecutors to decide what criminal charges to seek and how heavy a sentence to pursue. This is a question I have. If I feel, or you, I just commissioned you to be a DA, if you feel that somebody should not be charged for a crime, but you're still going to follow the law, then you could very well still file the charge against them and make it a lesser charge. Or you could still file the charge against them, but give them probation. You're still doing your job. But what they're saying is that people are just not outright doing it at all. And therein is a big, humongous difference. The Georgia law states a prosecutor cannot refuse, or rather can't refuse, to prosecute whole categories of crimes, but must instead decide charges case by case. And we already talked about that. It applies both to district attorneys and elected solicitor generals who prosecute lower level crimes in some Georgia counties. The law set a deadline on Sunday for the commission to start taking complaints. But two members said in sworn statements earlier this month that it can't start operations until the state Supreme Court approves proposed rules. That hasn't happened yet. Commissioners also noted, this is something I just want to point out, commissioners also noted that they voted on September 15th not to investigate any acts that take place before the rules are approved, because the law took effect on July 1st. Both supporters and opponents had said that the prosecutors could be disciplined or removed for acts beginning then. So all of this big hay, all of this hoopla doesn't apply to Fani Willis because, what in the world is that? Doesn't apply to Fani Willis because the complaints that have been filed against her or the complaints that people have in other areas were before the rules were set in play. The rules haven't actually been set in play yet. So therefore, all of this is for naught. You're worried about it for no reason. If you're doing your job, Sherry Boston, then you don't actually have anything to worry about. And I'm not saying that there can't be some way that somebody can maybe possibly try to wiggle their way in, but they can do that right now. They can file an ethics charge against you right now. So again, that's not anything new. It's just bringing it to a commission that will look at it and determine whether or not you actually did something wrong. It just seems wild. So I I appreciate y'all so much. I just thought this was really interesting. Again, I thought it was really serendipitous that Judge Whitaker, who is the new judge on the Young Thug YSL case, was actually involved in this story and in this case some time ago. She seems like a straight shooter, so I think this is going to be a great opportunity. I think we're going to have a lot to talk about with the YSL case in Judge Whitaker's chambers or Judge Whitaker's courtroom. Let's see who we got in the building. I see a lot of good folks stop by today, so I really appreciate y'all. Man, I got there's like 240 y'all watching. Grace and peace. Thank y'all so much for spending your Saturday morning with me. Thank you so much. Now, of course, we said Shag. We saw them. We saw Carol's in the building, as well as Mandy Reacts. Thank you so much. A wonderful supporter of the channel. If you don't mind, I'm sure you probably did. Mandy, can you go ahead and drop your link in the chat so everybody can go check out your channel as well if it's not already in there. Joanne, good to see you. Giving a wave. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Atlanta since 82. Good to see you. Grace and peace. Lots of good folk have popped in, and I'm glad to see them all. Nam Moses. And that's probably true. Nam Moses, absolutely. Absolutely true. Eve in the building. Judge Whitaker. 1T is being called Big Reese on TikTok. Why she called Big Reese? She's a 1T Whitaker. Look, I worked hard to be a 1T Whitaker, so she got to be a 1T. Yeah, they got to make sure they put some respect on their name. What's Big Reese? I need some more information about that one. That's hilarious, though. Let's see. Good to see you. There we go. Black Law student is in the building. Thank you so much. Actually sent me this article. Who's not detailed with the law? Is it Whitaker or Sherry Boston? Sherry Boston's probably. What's going on, Shari? How are you? Good to see you, sister. And good to see you, his servant. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Good morning to you, G baby. Who baby? Thank you so much for stopping by. Did I miss Retired is in the building? Order 1, reviewing Fani Willis's Kenneth Copeland immunity agreement. Oh, this is what's going to be going on in Judge Whitaker's courtroom, I think next week or something like that. There's a lot of stuff going on in there, man. It's going to be crazy. I'm going to try to keep up with it, but she gonna be working a long time, man. What y'all drinking today? I got my last Dunkin' Donut iced coffee. I got the last one today. So I was a little sad. I was looking through the little box. I'm like, man, it's the last one. It's good, though. Good to see you, Discernment Files. Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Okay, so Eve says, I guess she has set a tone for the YSL trial going forward, but we will see how he acts as a jurist. I guess you mean as she acts as a jurist. I totally get you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. By the way, thank you so much for the super sticker, for the super chat. What does Joanne say? Send me some gerbils. Hey, so I like to give analogies and examples, but I don't like them to get bogged down with, some kind of, I don't want to bring up something that somebody could be offended by. So I just always use those little hypotheticals that are crazy. Oh, and by the way, I'm a former classroom teacher. If you're new to the channel, I'm a former classroom teacher. So therefore, I give a lot of analogies that my kids used to appreciate, and they used to like those things. So I would come up way out in left field and say things like gerbils and all that kind of stuff. It just keeps them engaged. But also I knew that wasn't going to cause any problems because nobody's going to throw gerbils. We know that. Okay, thank you so much for that super chat as well. All right, so right here, I'm just trying to see if I missed anything else. One second. One quick second. Got it. So looking here, and I'm wondering if, so Black law student said something that I think I want to go back to. He said right here, first order, if that's the first order for the Georgia Commission, Fani Willis's Kenneth Copeland immunity agreement. My only question is, they said that they're not going to go back in time. So it has to be after the rules are set in place. So if those rules are not in place, I don't know if they can use, if the commission can look at Fani Willis's immunity agreement to Kenneth Copeland, which was before the rules were put in place. If I'm understanding that correctly, that's what I'm getting. So I don't know if they will be able to do that, Black law student, but please don't let me sit right here and give misinformation. If I'm wrong, let me know. All right, what we got here? Lots of good family reunion going on. Always appreciate that kind of stuff going on. Bruce, thank you so much for stopping by, brother. Thank you. What do we got here? Now, one of the reasons I'm scanning through the chat is because there's a ton of family reunion going on. And I love when you all get in the chat, going back and forth, talking, having dialogue, adding one another. I call it family reunion, so I really appreciate that kind of conversation going back and forth. So I'm just scanning through to look for any questions for me, because y'all might be talking to each other and forget about me altogether. Yeah, my sister said, do your job. Yep, and they started debating the bill in November of 2021. Now, I don't know, was Fani, I don't think she was on the stage like that. I think she might have been. I don't remember. But it wasn't for Fani. That's the point made, is that it wasn't for Fani. She trying to make it about her or about black DAs or women DAs, whatever. That's not the case at all. Okay, looking here. Lots of good conversation. Man, y'all, all right, y'all just put my name in if y'all need me. I mean, I'm over here. I'm glad that you enjoy it. Look, y'all just put my name. Y'all busy talking amongst yourselves. I'll just be over here doing what I'm doing. And that's another great thing. See, this is where when you're trying to make something a problem that it isn't, you create new problems. And what did black law students say right here? Nobody said the commission's only going to be Republicans. There's no rule in there that says they can only be Republicans or they can only be men. They have to be white. There's nothing that says that. So see, you're imposing your knee jerking and you're looking silly. Yeah, you got to throw gerbils every now and then. You got to. Yeah, I'm with Joanne. Joanne says, look, no phantom pretend injuries, please. Show me where the internet hurt you. Just show me. And then even as of today, they have not appealed Judge Whitaker's ruling. They need to leave my sister alone. Look, don't make me come down there. Don't make me come down there. I have no idea what this is. What happened there? Is that lead in the building? What's going on, everybody? What's happening? So lead attorney, if you're not familiar, he is probably the godfather of Lawtube. He's a fantastic former attorney here in Atlanta, by the way. Holla at your boy here in Atlanta. And not only that, but he's a fantastic mentor. He's given me tons and tons of value and education on how to do YouTube. So if y'all don't mind, shout out to lead attorney for stopping by. Can y'all just type lead in the chat? He may or may not still be here, but an honor that he stopped by. Just go ahead and just let him know that we appreciate him. And just say, type lead attorney, TLA. I'm going to type TLA. But yeah, thank you so much, Lee, for stopping by. Fantastic content creator. I've learned so much from him. Yeah, he has a fantastic course on how to live stream. It is phenomenal. I've enjoyed it. I've gotten a lot out of it. So definitely shout out, Lee. Thank you so much for stopping by, man. Appreciate you. Absolutely. Give that guy a shout out. Going back and forth, looking to see what we got here. Lead in the building. What's going on? What, not, why, who's? Good to see you from Australia. So yeah, I mean, the fact that people are finding this channel from 19 time zones away is completely amazing. Extremely humbling that people come to this channel from so far away. Other places. I mean, I've had people in the Philippines. I've got emails from South America, all over the place. And then, I mean, those way crazy places like Fulton County, Georgia. It is amazing. It's very humbling. Shout out to what, why, and who's. You're in Australia. And that's amazing. I've met people in Germany, in the UK. This is just a very humbling experience. I am glad. I never would have thought that me sitting here in my office or in my studio, reading over cases or talking about various and sundry topics would garner the attention from people all around the globe. Completely humbling. Now, let me also just add, Fulton County makes it extra spicy because, good gracious alive, Fulton County stay in the news. But hey, I'm glad you came by. Thank you so much for stopping by today. So this is a great point Robin makes. DAs are concerned about one thing, re-election. Plea deals by intimidation and lack of funds to hire adequate representation add to the conviction rates. And it is sad that that is the case, but I mean, I don't see it any other way. So yeah, I mean, there's so much could be done that would still garner good rapport with your community. And a lot of the time it just boils down to, what can I do to get reelected? What does Jeff Lowe say? Good morning, Jason. A reminder, please enable closed caption for those who don't hear well. Thanks. I appreciate that. I did not know. Okay, and I'm not trying to be funny. I truly did not know this. Is closed captioning on right now? Or is it on? Because I know it's on YouTube, but are you saying right now, as I'm talking at this moment, closed captioning is not on? Let me see if I can. I didn't know that was an option. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't see. I'm looking in the studio right now. Jeff and Jeff Lowe, I don't see how to turn on closed captioning right now, like in real time. That is interesting. I never ever thought about that. If I'm missing something, and one of my content creators or mods knows that I can turn on closed captioning right now in real time, please let me know. Send me a text or send it in Discord. I'll make the adjustment right now. All right. All right. Got that iced coffee popping and locking? Yeah, absolutely. And I apologize if I didn't know that was an option. I didn't know you could do that. So if I can do it, it will be done moving forward if I can do it. If there's something I need to change, now you got me looking again. I didn't know you could do that. Wait, is it subtitles? Oh, but that's like on old videos. I don't see an option to turn on subtitles right now in real time. So I apologize about that, Jeff. But I'll definitely make that. That's a cool thing. I'll make sure to add that. Yeah, you can't do it. It doesn't allow me to do it. Okay, if I run across it though, we will when you choose closed captioning. Okay, I'm gonna take this is gonna take 10 seconds off the time. Let me real quick. When I choose closed captioning. Okay. Automatic chapters. What I'm looking real quick is see if I can add closed captions. Somebody else has asked that before. Now that I think about it, but I didn't know I could do it. Okay, yeah, I don't see it, but so not to take too much time, I will make sure tomorrow, if it's something I can do, which I don't see why I couldn't, I will make sure that before I do my live stream tomorrow that I have that turned on. I apologize about that, Jeff, but thank you. I appreciate that opportunity to add value. Thank you, sir. All right, what we got here? Yeah, I let go of Red Bull. I used to drink it too, but I didn't think it was bad. I just was like, I don't know why I'm drinking this. So smash that like button. Hit it. Thank you so much for everybody. Okay. So Miguel asked, what's going on? We just went through a couple of cases and the law here in Georgia that allows for a commission to investigate district attorneys. The several district attorneys filed a lawsuit against that, and we just looked into it. Just a little fun look in, especially since the judge that denied the lawsuit is the same judge that now is sitting on the YSL case. And I just think that's so funny how big Georgia is, but then how small it is all at the same time because these names keep popping up. All right, lots of good conversation back and forth. Gloria Allen says Democrats were the only ones complaining about the law. What does that say? I think that's interesting. Now, the catch-22 is they'll come up with some law and then they'll get Republicans complain about it. So you got to be careful there. What's going on, Mango Gelato? Thank you so much. That name sounds familiar. I think I've seen you on AV's channel. Shout out. Thank you so much, Mango Gelato. Thank you for stopping by. Lots of good shout outs. I see Lee was in the building. Lots of love sent out to Lee. Thank y'all so much for supporting not only this channel, but those content creators that stop on through. I appreciate that. That means a lot. And lots of good faces I haven't seen in a while. So thank you all for stopping by on this Saturday morning. And what is Black Law Student says, I won't be surprised if the commission doesn't come for Fani first. Yeah, I don't see any reason why. Well, okay. Georgia has don't quote me on this, I think it has 161 counties. So if each county has a DA, there's a probability that Fani's not the worst one that's misbehaving, okay, or done something that probably needs to be brought up. The thing is, you're not going to hear about Bibbs County. You're not going to hear much about Clay County or Butts County, any of those kind of things like that. Clark. You might hear that because it's Athens. That's where Brian Kemp is from. But you got my point. Lots of little small counties that probably your town is bigger than these counties, right? But so, if the district attorney in Jason County down at the bottom of Georgia is acting a fool and you get a commission charge against it, the likelihood is that's not going to make the news. However, Fani Willis will make news. So by the time you hear about it, there could have been 2, 3, 4, 10 other DAs that have been disciplined, but you're only going to hear about it when it's a big name that everybody knows, and everybody knows Fani Willis. So nobody knows that. I can only think of 2 DAs that I know of, Fani Willis and Sonia Allen, of course, Fulton County and Cobb County where I'm at. So I think that's going to be what ends up happening in my little estimation. What's going on from Texas? On the verge of slumbering. Well, I'll try to keep it nice and calm. I won't be yelling or anything like that. I mean, we watch YouTube. I mean, season 5. We might need to do worldwide. I'm just saying. Yeah, public defenders. I think we can definitely have a conversation about public defenders for sure. Now, what are you saying about us Southerners? Southerners, question all us Southerners in the comments. Do you find your accent gets worse when you're tired or excited? That's a good question. Okay, mine is my Southern accent is definitely a learned accent. I didn't have it when I came to Georgia. So I don't think I actually sound Southern. Not like my daughters sometimes. But they probably more when they get tired. And my wife refuses to be a Southerner. So she refuses. So in my opinion, mine is ginned up. I've created it. So, but my daughters, they are Southerners. So born and raised in the South. And I think theirs is more like when they get tired. Sometimes they get excited. We'll see. Tonight's Trina's birthday party. So we'll see when her and her friends get together. Do they sound Southern? We'll see. Good question. I like that one. All right. Okay, so closed caption is not on my stream at this moment. Yeah, I don't know how to turn that on. Definitely did not know that was an option or something I need to do. Let me look one more time. Yeah, I will definitely unequivocally make sure I can do it in the future because I didn't know that. Somebody mentioned it before, and I guess I never thought about it anymore. But I don't know where to turn it on at. I'll look into it. We'll definitely, Jeff, make sure that we get that going. So, I'm saying it's unavailable to those watching. So, is there something I need to do, Transplanted Texan, to add it in the future? Long story short, or can you get it in real time? Is what I was wondering. There we go. Yeah, Big Bot is over there in Germany. There we go. When I choose closed captioning. Okay. See, the thing is, I never choose closed captioning. It's just on. So where did I turn it on at? Oh, mercy. Y'all, what have we done wrong with life?
Hi, Daddy.
Why?
Jamal wants to know the name of the podcast.
I don't want Jamal?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Friend from school.
I don't know him.
Oh.
I don't know Jamal.
He don't want you to look.
You tell him whatever you want to tell him.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Trina. Why is my kid crazy, man? Yo, this little driving thing, we need to have a conversation. If you have teenagers, we're going to have like a powwow about teenagers and driving because she's doing a great job. I'm so proud of her. But she's just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go. Like, that's such a mind shift for me. Like, what do you mean you're going somewhere? And I look on the little family app and I see her moving. Like, wait, how are you moving? I'm right here in the house. It is crazy to me. It is such a mind shift that now she's just autonomous. That's just crazy to me. I just that is such a mind shift. So if you've had a rising driver, now a driver in your household, you know what I'm going through. Like, she just gets up and goes. Now at least she'll still say, hey, I'm going, she'll tell me. But soon she'll just be like leaving places. I was we went to family night dinner at church Wednesday and my kids were there. And then they just left afterwards. I'm like, wait, I'm still here. And they just left. That was craziness to me. I didn't know what to do with that. It was so like that's craziness. That shift when they move from being little people to basically being autonomous. That is such a mind shift. If you've had it, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm going through right now. So I appreciate it. I don't know, Apex. This is a fantabulous question. And by the way, thank you for the super sticker from Claudia. We got that pear. I don't know why when you put it up, when it comes up on my end, it looks like this. It just describes it. I have no idea why they don't show me the emoji. But I appreciate the super sticker nonetheless. Thank you so much, love. And then when I click on it, it goes all the way back to the top. That is craziness. There we go. But see, that's the thing. That's the playback. I think what Jeff is talking about is closed captioning in real time. But you're saying in my studio, playback. Yeah, that's. Let me double check. I keep saying this the last time checking, and then I keep going back and checking. Yeah, I don't see it for real-time playback. I see it for, real-time closed captioning. I see it for playback, but not for real-time. And that's what we're talking about, real-time. But yeah, I'll keep looking. I'm going to find it. We'll find it for sure. But I thank y'all for that. All right, what we got here? I don't think so either, but I'm going to look. I'm going to spend a little bit of time today because Trina's going to go get her cupcakes for her party on her own. So I don't have to go pick them up. So I have time to go do that. I can't believe I just said that. She's going to go pick up cupcakes. I can't believe it. She just went and got breakfast. She went and got herself breakfast. And then last night she was out babysitting and the family be coming back late, right? So they were coming back at like 11 o'clock. And I was like, I don't know about that. I might have to come follow you home. And then it started raining. So it wasn't just dark. It wasn't just, it was a little clip away. There's a lot of twists and turns. But then it's raining. Oh my gosh. And I did drive out and catch up with her and just followed her home. But she did a great job. So I'll probably just leave her alone now. Lots of good conversation back and forth. I love it. Yeah, I think Mango, I've seen you on AV and Leeds channel. Thank you so much for stopping by for sure. Good to see you, Nakia. Thank you so much for stopping by, friend. Yeah, I don't think, we'll definitely look into it. I see Gene Lee is having that conversation with somebody else. I think that's what it is, but I got a little bit of time. Like I said, when we get done, I can test it out and try it. I think I know what it is, but we'll see. You got great questions. I love them. Perth, Australia. So it's 10:35 p.m. in Perth. Really? Wow. That is craziness. So you're basically 12 hours ahead of me. Is it Saturday or Sunday in Perth? I'm assuming it's got to be Saturday. So it's 10:35 p.m. on Saturday. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, thank you for becoming a member, Claudia. Thank you for that. Appreciate you joining the team. Appreciate you. I picked up y'all real early. I think I was saying y'all when I was in Illinois. But I've been here in Georgia for 30 years, so 30 plus years. So I am Southern for sure. Can we get a merch drop? Your face on. I don't think nobody wants a T-shirt with my face on it. I don't think anybody really truly wants that. But I appreciate the compliment for sure. Was it let's see who else I missed. Good to see you, Brenda. Good to see you. Oh, okay. Man, we are really digging into this. Look, the chat section is the Inspector Gadget, not Inspector Gadget, the Sherlock Holmes of the internet. They're going to find this information. They're not going to let me keep wandering around here looking crazy. They're going to make sure we find this information and make it right. But if there's a way to do live closed caption, please let me know. Email me, dearwokec@gmail.com, or if whatever. Just email me so I can make sure I add it if it's something I need to add or if I can't add. But well, thank you, Nakia. Let's get those likes up. Get the likes up for sure. Last little bit of my tea, my coffee. But oh, it is Saturday. Okay, cool. Okay. As I thought about it, I was like, wait, that wouldn't make sense. It'll be Sunday. No. So, okay. Appreciate it. Welcome, Claudia. Welcome. Is that Devon Dawson in the building? What's up, y'all? How are you? Yo, so as Samson said right here, we were looking at, we talk a lot about the YSL case, the young slime life case here in Georgia, because it's here in Georgia. And somehow or another, it's taken on a life of its own. So from wild witnesses to attorneys getting thrown in jail to everything. It's just like the living soap opera. Like no soap opera could be written better than the YSL case. I just can't believe it is possible. So recently, to answer what Samson is saying here, the original judge was really slow dragging. He was slow dragging through this case. I mean, it was slow dragging. And it was just, it just didn't seem, I think that's really where all of the drama came from, in my opinion. I don't doubt that he's a good person. I don't doubt that he's probably even a good judge. For whatever reason, he was just really not handling this case very well. So after much wrangling, they were able to get him recused. And then they brought in another judge. However, that judge, she presided over her own deputy, got arrested for interacting with a inmate from the original trial. So she said she had to recuse herself. She's like, look, I can't be involved in this because I actually, my deputy got arrested and is in jail because they were doing some hanky-panky with a criminal. So now we have yet another judge, and her last name is Whitaker. Shout out to the Whitakers. And they spell it correctly. So yesterday we watched her introduction to the court and her starting the process. And many people have pointed out that she does seem super, super professional. And to the point that she starts on time. So if she says 8:30, you would be smart to be in there at 8:28 because she's going to be starting on time. So this is going to be such an interesting case. I have no idea why this case has become so fascinating and, dare I say, captivating. Because I know people who literally chime in, tap in every single day to watch this case. When it's on, there's several Lawtubers that are discussing it, and each of them are giving a different angle and a different perspective. There's a young lady that literally goes to the court. She is a trial vlogger, and she literally is in the courtroom right now. Not right now. During the Young Thug case, she's in the courtroom. So she's seen all of the wranglings with Judge Glanville and all of that. It's so interesting. I don't know why. I would love to know what is the interest in these cases, because you're like, why do y'all want to know about this? But they're interesting, and I don't know myself, and I'm tapped in on a regular basis. I don't know why I'm so interested in it. So I'm not surprised that they would get a better, because she seems like she knows what she's doing. Her I's are dotted and her T's are crossed. And I think this case is going to get on a very fast track to either a jury or to some kind of mistrial, dismissal, whatever. So stay tuned. If you're not following the Young Thug case, it is interesting. It is super interesting. Okay, I appreciate an email sent from Ann Stuff. All right, I'll be checking that out in a second then. I love the family reunion back and forth. I love you found the cap. Oh, you did? You mean this one right here, Nakia? Look, God is a designer, needs to sponsor me because I literally have 3 hats and I have 2 more in my shopping cart because I'm waiting for one more to come out. And I don't know why. I just love these hats. They need to go ahead and sponsor me. Look, I'll let your boy. Is that my sister? There she is. Janelle Berry in the building. Good to see you. You know Fani out there causing, Fani doing something. Fani got to be doing something in Georgia. Okay, this is interesting. Jay-Z says, constitutionally, one of the most interesting cases I've ever watched. I got you. I mean, I don't know why. And I'm guilty as charged. I'm right there watching it. I'm right there live streaming and watch partying it, the whole 9. It is so interesting to me. But I also think the more we're learning about law, because law to me, and I mentioned this to the lead attorney, law initially just seemed like something like Latin. You just didn't understand it, and you just trusted that the people that were speaking it knew what they were talking about. But because of Lawtube and people like Viva Fry and Professor Nez and others that have started to break these cases down for the average Joe and Jane, use my bad example, they started translating it into something that we all can understand. You're like, wait, I do understand this. And now all of a sudden, these things start to pick up and they start to make sense. Like, you know what? I still got to do my video on Alec Baldwin because I think that case was so interesting to me. And I literally just watched that last day and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But I only had 3 days to watch anyway because it was only 3 days. That's crazy. But I think my hat goes off to people that have translated the law process down to something that other people can better understand. So again, like lead attorney, AV, Nate the lawyer, Professor Nez, all those great minds have taken these concepts. Phil Holloway here in Cobb County, he still hasn't come to the studio to meet with me. We're not going to say that out loud, but Phil Holloway from Inside the Law, yeah, that guy. He should probably meet up with me. I'm not here to pick fights, just saying that. But they've taken these concepts and they broke them down really basic that a lot of us can fully understand them. Like, yo, I don't have to go to law school to understand this. Like, I got this. This makes sense. And it's such like that. And then you got them to and they've been so gracious. That's the other part about the Lawtube space and the such like that. If I say something wrong, again, I'm a pre-K law student. I don't know anything, okay? Even in that, I've got some really gracious emails and text messages and DMs from people who say, hey, this is how you can say it, or this is what it means. I'm not going to tell you who, but I've got a couple text messages since I've been here right now. So this space has just been super cool. And for whatever reason, I think that's part of what the draw is. I think that's what's causing so many people to gravitate toward this. And that's why the live chat here is the best live chat, because we're not arguing and fighting about, politics or any of those other things that they want us to fight about. We're here just trying to understand court and understand law better. And everybody's all of us are kind of novice to some degree, shape, or form. And so I think that's what's really exciting about the Lawtube space is that people don't come in here. Everybody comes in here and be like, yo, I probably don't understand what's going on. I'm a pre-K law school student as well. And they're all everybody's willing to learn. And that's my thought, why this has been so interesting. And it's such an interesting, because everybody knows, not everybody does have, lots of us have a understanding that something is right and something is wrong. Okay. Now, once you introduce it to be whether it's legally right and legally wrong, that's when all the wheels on the bus fall off sometimes. But we all are interested, like, wait, that's wrong that person did that. Okay, well, let me see what the law says, or let me see how it plays out in court. Are they going to be able to prove that this person did that and that they were wrong for doing it? Can they prove it? Because where it gets a little sticky, so to speak. So I think that's what the draw is. And then also I just think the people that have come to this channel and the countless other channels, they're super dope. I mean, there's lots of good people that come to these live chats that just want to learn. They meet their friends. I've seen tons of you all in other people's live chats, and the same vibe is there. Like, I don't see, I'm gonna pick on Mandy real quick. I don't see Mandy in one chat using profanity and pejoratives and being super crazy out of pocket, then come over here to my channel and be a different person. Mandy's the same person everywhere I've seen her. Shout out to Mandy, by the way. She has her own channel. She does a fantastic job and makes excellent content as well. So I think that's another thing that draws everybody in. I'm sorry. I just saw something from Claudia, and this thing right here is hilarious. I think that draws people in is that you see like your little tribe, your little gang, and they're all over here on Law and Crime, or they're all over here on Inside the Law. Shout out to Phil Holloway. You need to come visit me. You're over here at Lead Attorneys or whatever, and you see the same kind of people. And it does gender, and everybody's learning. So it does engender a type of camaraderie. Don't want to say like it's like college, but kind of like college. We're all in a lecture hall together. And I say, oh yeah, I know that person. Or, oh yeah, it's a guy I go catch drinks with after class or whatever. You see people that you're familiar with. And I think that's part of it. Y'all, I'm trying to stay on a certain path. And then I saw this comment right here from Claudia. The entire courthouse show should win a daytime Emmy. That is a fact. No lie detected. The Young Thug case should get an Emmy, a daytime Emmy. No lie. No lie. It's been going on for 101 days. Definitely daytime Emmy. I'd go as far to say they might need just an Emmy, period. That's it. Because and the bad thing is it's real life. I don't know what kind of award do they give for like real life situations? Because again, I don't think anybody could write a story better than what's going on in the YSL case. I don't think it's even possible. That was a great one. Thank you so much. Cliffhanger every day. And an 80s style cliffhanger. Them 1980s style cliffhangers where you really, truly don't know where it's going to go. I agree. This is a great question. Jay-Z says, I wonder why or wonder how it hasn't been deemed a mistrial yet. I like the fact that you use the word yet. So Black law school student and myself were talking about this, and at the current moment, what they did yesterday was just the attorneys and Judge Whitaker. In order for them to file a mistrial, you have to have the defendants in the room. So the defendants will be in the courtroom on the 30th of July. So for the next week, there'll be some wrangling and some motions filed. I'm certain Brian Steele got 10 motions ready to drop, okay? He already texted them out. But there's some wrangling that needs to go on, so on and so forth. But once Young Thug and the other defendants are back in court, I think then it's going to ratchet up, because remember, Brian Steele already filed a motion for a mistrial and a motion for bond. Remember that? They have to be in there for that. So that's why they didn't address that yesterday. So to answer your question, I still believe mistrial is on the table. Now, I want mistrial with prejudice, because you're going to bankrupt these people, and just for them to defend themselves. But don't be surprised if things really change by if things really change or things really get ratcheted up next week, the week of the 30th, because that's when Young Thug and him, I believe everybody's supposed to come back on Monday, and I think the defendants are there on Tuesday. So just keep your eye on it. Yo, the new judge. Hold on, I actually got a screenshot of that. Here it is, right here. I like the judge. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all gonna have to fight me. I like her. What did Bot say? She said, "Don't be coming up in here eating." She said, "Court will begin at 8:45, no matter what, if all defendants have any of their lawyers present." Because a lot of them have, co-counsels and such like that. No more eating in court unless the day goes on longer than expected and they have and they have to work through lunch or dinner. So I didn't realize, apparently, somebody pointed this out to me. Apparently, Young Thug is just straight eating in court. Just like snacking all day. I didn't realize that. Let us continue. No more expensive wardrobes for the defendants. Sorry, Thug. I don't think she said it like that. She just said extensive wardrobe, Jason. That's it, because literally they keep it in the closet and the court is responsible for those clothes. So if it's like high-end clothes or high-end fashion, the court is responsible for that fashion. And they got to keep up with it so they can't let anything happen to it. I think they should just have like a rotating, 5 outfits, because they're going to be in court every day now. They weren't in court every day with Glanville. Asking to minimize the disruptions in court. That one's going to be interesting. I don't know what qualifies as a disruption. Objections maybe. I think those are probably par, but there's been instances where there's some big, a little bit of a spirited conversation between the lawyers. So maybe that's what she means. Defendants cannot be using headphones during the trial. I didn't realize that they were doing this as a regular, but apparently some of the attorneys had been allowing the clients to, jack in. And I guess they said like listening to information about the case from their laptops. I didn't realize they were doing that. And then lastly, no gaps between witnesses. When one witness gets done, the next witness needs to be coming up. I'm thinking about like how at the RNC, when one speaker got done, the next speaker was walking right out there. No gaps. We got to keep it moving. We ain't sitting right here thinking. Keep it moving. State needs their next witness available immediately. I love it. So anyway, that's Judge Whitaker. Hopefully, this case in all of its shenanigans, it seems like it's going to really start cranking up. So prayerfully, it'll be whatever happens. I just want justice to be done, and I think it's unfortunate and it's a bad look that they're okay with these men being in jail without bond for going on 2 years. Like that's craziness to me. All right, what we got here? Lots of good conversation. I appreciate all the good back and forth. Now, Missy, not to be funny, but if you watch every minute of the Alec Baldwin case, you only watch 3 days. And the bit that I saw, it was pretty amazing. So I wanted to go over that. I still have maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I can get that off my plate. Natalie Lawyer Chick. Is Natalie Lawyer Chick here? All right, we are going to get ready to, I guess I need to go be a good dad and go get balloons for my child's party this afternoon. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll let her go do it. I don't know. Right. See, and this is it. I think Mango Gelato really synthesize what I was saying. We all kind of have a gauge of what's right and what's wrong. So when we see things like, again, the Young Thug case or what happened in the disqualification hearing and the such like that, or pick a trial, the Alec Baldwin trial and the such like that, I think we have an understanding, and Lawtube has helped us better be able to break it down and put it in our own way that we can articulate it to somebody else, which I think has been great. Is this social education? Is that good? Well, thank you so much, Jay-Z. I appreciate you. Welcome to the best live chat on the planet. Thank you. Oh, yeah, this court case has been going on for 101 days, better than a year, okay, because it took them a year to get a jury. So it's crazy. Banana. I don't even know how to say it another way. It has been crazy. I think y'all to put this in the mind of We Watch YouTube. Y'all in trouble. You all are in so much trouble now because We Watch. Let me find that video. YouTube. We Watch YouTube is so creative. Hold on one second. Yep. Okay. My live chat is so amazing, right? This live chat right here that you're a part of, that you hit the thumbs up on, 280 of you all hit the thumbs up on. This live chat is so amazing that we actually got a Grammy. I don't know if you actually knew that. So let me real quick remind you.
We have a Grammy Award-winning chatter, Friends of One. The Grammy of the chatter. We are proud to say that you've won, you are number one. Congratulations, friend.
Y'all not ready for this. So now y'all done put it in the minds of We Watch YouTube that we need an Emmy. And don't be surprised. We Watch YouTube is so creative. So don't be surprised if we see a video soon. Actually, I think we have two Grammy videos. We got to look. We Watch YouTube is on another level. Y'all not ready for that. Don't even be surprised. Do not be surprised. All right, let us get this thing out of here. Yeah, see, even more like and stuff says Doug Weinstein said he has two motions he's filing on Tuesday. They're not playing. This case, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Sadly, I really believe that Judge Whitaker did not know what had been going on in the case, because she really did sound like she did not know. She was saying like, what has happened, this, that, and other. I don't know what the quorum is or the etiquette is for courtrooms and for judges and such like that. I don't know why you don't know about this stuff, but of course it made sense to me. But maybe your job, you're like, look, you over there minding your business, I'm minding my business. Maybe that's it. But if she went and just did a quick YouTube search this weekend, she's going to be mortified. Okay. She's going to be like, what in the world is going on in this courtroom? She's going to be like, what in the world is going on in this courtroom? I got to get out of here. This place is crazy. So that's what I think. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe she's been like, look, I'm built for this. One thing I do know is she does seem like she's very efficient. So she even told them, like, however many, she asked the state, how many witnesses do you have? And basically, don't bring 9 witnesses up here to talk about how he rented a car. Get to the best witness, and that's it. So basically, pare this list down. And I've heard rumors, I cannot confirm, that there was like 200 witnesses left to go. 200 witnesses left. Judge Whitaker basically is saying, don't you come up in here with no 200 witnesses. You better not come in here with 200 witnesses. You better get that thing down to something that's reasonable. She didn't say it explicitly, so I'm just kind of imposing my thought process here. She probably saying like, it better not be more than 50. That's how I'm transliterating what she said. It better not be more than 50. And they better be 50 good, or I'm going to start striking them off of there. That's what she said. So it's going to be interesting. to see what is going on. Q, good to see you, Sister Grace and Peace. Yeah, that's going to be so wild, Gloria Allen. If there is no mistrial, I cannot wait for Judge Glanville and the DAs to be called as witnesses on the stand. And please keep in mind, unless there's some way, and I'm willing to the Young Thug case started in 2022. If there's a way, so think about it. Think about it like this. Glanville, Hilton, and Love are now witnesses on the extended witness list of Brian Steele. If they're allowed to be witnesses, you do realize that they now are no longer the attorneys on the case. So he's almost removed them from the case by this. Unless I'm missing a step, by them being witnesses, they can't be, I don't know if they can fight being witnesses. And I don't know if they can fight being an attorney now that they've been a witness. I think they're in a trick bag. All right. I see lots of good conversation going back and forth. I'm loving it. Super duper loving it. Absolutely. Lots of conversation back and forth. We got Courtaholic. I don't even know who you are, but that name is hilarious. Courtaholic. That right there. That probably stole the day for me. That's hilarious. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, Mango Gelato. I'm not 100% certain, so don't quote me. Don't quote thus saith DWC. However, I've heard that there were at least 200 more witnesses. Now, let's just say I was wrong, and let's say it was 100. That's still a lot of witnesses, okay? But there were a lot of witnesses, and I know DAs and such like that submit witness lists, and sometimes they're just big just to be kind of to look like imposing. So maybe they were just like padding it with different people, putting my bartender's name, and there's that Uber driver, I'm putting his name on there. They're just doing stuff, and they never intend to call these people. Maybe that's it. What's going on? Viewing me. Good to see you. Yep, one juror. I did hear this. One juror did move to another city. Oh my gosh. Oh, and by the way, Taylor is having a party tonight. So I don't understand how this happens. So Taylor's having her little friends over while Trina's having her friends at the clubhouse. I tell you, man, my kids are a trip. Okay, I'm going to look at that in a moment. All right. I say trick bag, meaning basically I use it to mean that they get you into a situation where you are in trouble. So a trick bag could be, an attorney asks you a question, like, you've confessed to a crime. Or a trick bag could be one kid asks you for something, another kid asks you for something, and you answer the third kid, and lo and behold, you done put yourself in a situation where you're going to a baseball game, a movie, and you're going skydiving all at the same time. They can put you in a trick bag. That kind of situation like that. This is a great question. And Stuff says, what's the chances of Love and Hilton being dismissed from the case? I'm going to go with it being, again, my name is Jason. I'm a pre-K law student. And that means I've watched a lot of episodes of Suits and pretty much every episode of Law and Order. Okay. So I don't know anything. I do think that there's a high probability because of that ex parte meeting. I really believe that is problematic. And what I mean by that is when you watch what happened with Alec Baldwin, and you hear somebody's name mentioned, Brady, a lot in that Alec Baldwin, they're not talking about Tom or Marsha or the Brady Bunch. They're talking about the Brady, that information that is being shared, that all attorneys have to put all their cards on the table, so to speak, if I'm explaining it correctly. That information in the Alec Baldwin case about the ammunition should have been given to the defense immediately. But the prosecutor decided that this is not important. Nobody needs to know about this. And it is kept it moving. Well, now we're here. So that being the case, Brady, you hear Brady mentioned a lot in that ex parte meeting, or in reference to the ex parte meeting, because there's information that's shared that is important, like Woody saying, I committed all these crimes. That is information that the defense needed to know about. So what I mean by that is, so the reason I bring that up, and I'm going to go over the Alec Baldwin case tomorrow. I'm sorry. I was going to talk about the RNC, but let me get the Alec Baldwin case off my plate tomorrow because it's really good. I think it's super informative. But there was if I'm understanding, there's Brady information that was shared in that ex parte meeting that needed to be shared ahead of time and allow the defense to know about it. Because that didn't happen, I do believe that's going to be the mistrial with jeopardy. And that's what I think is going to happen. So the likelihood of them, but let's just say for some reason, somehow or another, it doesn't get a mistrial. It doesn't get jeopardy applied to it. I do think that Love and Hilton are going to get kicked off the case because of their participation in ex parte, which was the same reason why Glanville was recused. If I'm understanding correctly, that is enough to shuttle them out of here. The problem is, what we're waiting for is Judge Whitaker to see what's going on, to get up to speed. Because mind you, they're not sitting there watching this. So they're not up to speed on the ins and outs, the motions, the filings, all that kind of jazz like that. So they do have to get up to speed to a degree. So it's not like they had like an alternate judge sitting there along the whole time. But so that being the case, she does have to get up to speed. I think when she gets up to speed, she'll realize that a lot of these motions were not just theater. They weren't just trying to slow down the case, but there was a lot of mishandlings that are done, and it needs to be stopped. So that's why I'm saying keep your eyes on the next 2 weeks, because it's probably going to be, I feel comfortable that once Young Thug and them get back in the courtroom, it's really going to go ratchet it up. And I think that's when we're going to see, this case is going to mistrial. Oh, well, there we go. Anybody who hangs out with Mandy is a friend of ours. Absolutely. Yo, if there was 150 witnesses left, just think about that. 150 witnesses. If I'm not mistaken, I did not watch that part. They had like 3 or 4 witnesses that were from the rental car company that talked about how Young Thug rented a car. 3 witnesses to talk about renting a car. Everybody knows how to rent a car. You got the Tom Brady ads on these videos when you pop up. Nobody needed 3 people to explain how to rent a car. So I think if there's 150 left, they're going to have to pare that down. She's going to make them pare that down to the reasonable amount. You don't need the manager, the district manager, the sales rep, and the mechanic to all tell you how to rent a car. We don't need that. Give me the one person that's going to give the best witness, that's going to be the best witness. Everybody else go home. Yeah, so Judge Whitaker's not having that. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, the original list was 739 witnesses. Man, that's out of control. That's insane. Like, I'm sorry. That was embarrassing. That should have been 139 to start with. There's no way. Well, at least shout out to Glanville for telling them to cut that down for sure, because that would have been bananas. Appreciate it. Oh, we had 300 likes. Thank y'all so much. I'm glad y'all like the content. Thank you so much for hitting the like button. I thank you. I appreciate it. I think I should give y'all a thank you for that. Y'all, I told y'all, We Watch YouTube is the best resource I've ever had in my life as it relates to YouTube content. I mean, they're comical. He actually did a video about the best live chat on the internet. Do y'all want to see it? Most of y'all have seen it. I know I got a lot of new people. Yeah, and Brenda, you're right. Steele is still in the process. Like, that motion hasn't even been heard yet. So there's that motion as well. So I truly don't think the case is going to go any further. That's just my little 2 cents. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't just Brady, but it was also Giglio evidence as well. Black law student, you can't be using these big words, man. We already told you about that stuff, man. Stop that. Stop it. You're already getting us in the. You're already getting us. Okay, I'm getting ready to bug out of here, but watch this. I'm going to end. To all of the new people, because we hit 300 likes on this video, and I got so many of you all that have given me such good commentary. We're going to end on a video I haven't played in a while. It is called The Best Live Chat on the Internet. And this is from We Watch YouTube. It's a great content creator and a supporter of the channel. So let's just end with this. I think you'll enjoy it. You'll get a good chuckle out of it. Let's go.
I wanna go where my screen name is in highlights and people say hi when I come into the room. I wanna be where the conversation is interesting, and I wanna have family there, like President, firstborn and chief executive, secondborn and a Grammy. She's cool. Yeah, I want a Grammy party for sure. I want to feel some kind of way, you know, like where everybody knows my screen name. And if I could ever find something like that, it would be the best. Chat room on the internet, a chat room that you know has stuff to talk about, stuff I know how to talk about, where people get me and I get celebrate. You know where you celebrate. I like it when the moms are on their job and put those links in the chat. Yeah, that's nice. You think this place exists, man? I know a guy. You think this place exists, man? I know a dear old Christian. Look at my band, he'll hook you up. Man, if I could ever find something like that, it would be the best chat room on the internet. A chat room that you know has stuff to talk about, stuff I know how to talk about, where people get me and I get celebrate. You know where you celebrate. Thank you, oh thank you, dear old Christian, for giving me a place at the best chat on the internet. I just want to say thank you, man. Thank you, man.
I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. You can tell your live chat that they are the best chat on the planet if you want to. But if you can't pull up a video like that and drop that video to your live chat, just remain quiet. You have the right to remain silent. This is the best live chat on the planet. Bar none, hands down. Catch me outside if we want to fight. We can meet in the front yard. We meet in the back. I can fight you down here at the Dunkin' Donuts, over at the Quick Trip. I need to go get some gas anyway. I'll meet you over there and fight. It don't matter. This is the best live chat on the planet. Catch me outside. I appreciate y'all so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic Saturday. Enjoy your family. Enjoy get outside. It's raining outside now, but I'm going to go outside anyway. Got to take my daughter somewhere. Everybody, I appreciate y'all so much. I'll see you tomorrow. God willing, grace and peace. Take care.